Abject failure. Abortion rights movement fractures over publish Roe future. Washington badly stung by means of the U.S. Supreme Court's selection to overturn Roe v. Wade on Friday. The abortion rights motion unearths itself splintered, demoralized, and confronted with a startling landscape in which the manner may be outlawed in half the U.S. Angry grassroots activists are calling past efforts an abject failure. They say national abortion rights advocacy agencies have been so ate up with winning federal elections they allowed conservatives to chip away at abortion rights via state-level law over decades. At the equal time, the one's organizations have raised and funneled hundreds of tens of millions of dollars to Democratic congressional and presidential applicants in large part for naught, the activists say. Minnie Timarija, president of NARAL, Pro-Choice America, one of the maximum effective national abortion rights companies, said the movement need to take a hard study its processes. As the proper turned into being whittled away within the states, federal voices were nonetheless focused on shielding Roe, stated Timarija, who changed into name to her publish closing year. It would be malpractice now not to investigate what occurred. NARAL and other abortion rights mainstays, such as Planned Parenthood and Emily's List, say they are increasingly more making an investment in state-level politics. But they insist a robust federal presence remains critical to thrust back Republican tries to skip an outright country-wide abortion ban in Congress. With Roe overturned, the divide in the abortion rights movement is widening along modern and mild lines, similar to the cutting-edge Democratic Party, grassroots activists say. The combat is inside the states, says Kelly Copeland, executive director of Pro-Choice Ohio. Washington has had their danger and they failed. Mainstream agencies want to largely stay the course they have got followed since the 1973 Roe v. Wade choice. They desire the Supreme Court ruling will galvanize citizens in November's elections, possibly supporting Democrats keep control of Congress and boosting efforts to codify Roe's protections into federal law. Progressive activists say it is time to turn the point of interest to ensuring girls and people who are trying to find abortions can attain them no matter in which they are living. Blame game. The route towards the Supreme Court's decision starts off evolved with conservative Republicans, who for 40 years driven to nominate federal judges adversarial to Roe and worked on the kingdom stage to skip laws proscribing abortion rights. More than 1,330 restrictions on abortion were handed by kingdom legislatures considering the fact that Roe became regulation, in step with the Guttmacher Institute, which tracks abortion get admission to. Some 44% of those regulations surpassed inside the final decade by myself. The Friday ruling in addition empowers these kingdom legislatures to decide the legality of abortion, potentially proscribing get entry to for thousands and thousands of girls national. Some longtime activists say the abortion rights movement underestimated conservatives' tenacity. The pro-choice motion made a grave errors, stated Merle Hoffman, who opened an abortion health facility in New York in the early 1970s. They minimized the electricity and the patients in their competition. Experts and advocates point to numerous felony and political turning points within the battle over abortion rights, a 1992 Supreme Court choice that allowed states to start decreasing abortion get entry to, the 2010 midterms that led to huge Republican state-level profits, the success of Senate Republicans in keeping an Obama Supreme Court nominee off the courtroom, and the unwillingness of Democratic presidents to make abortion rights and get right of entry to a priority even as they'd birthday celebration majority in Congress. But several stated the largest C alternate in the combat became cultural. Conservative activists were able to transform the right to have an abortion from a feminist precept to something that have become a moral predicament, aided by using technology that allowed human beings to look snapshots of fetuses. Abortion became stigmatized, activists say. Democrats spoke of creating it secure, legal and rare, in preference to speaking of it as a proper. Legal abortion has maintained wide public aid.